Your garden might already be growing the most powerful medicine on the planet, and you've probably been pulling it out as a weed. For thousands of years, before there were pharmacies on every corner, people healed infections, calmed inflammation, and recovered from illness using plants growing right outside their door. That knowledge didn't disappear, it got buried, quietly pushed aside by an industry that profits every time you don't know your alternatives. Today, we're digging it back up. These are 15 overlooked medicinal plants that healers, herbalists, and traditional farmers have relied on for centuries, most of which you can grow yourself, starting this season. Stay with me until the end, because number 15 is the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most powerful of all. Plant 1. Comfrey. Most people yank this out on sight. Big mistake. Comfrey has been called knitbone since medieval times, and for good reason. The leaves contain allantoin, a compound that accelerates cell repair and reduces inflammation. Traditional healers used it as a poultice for bruises, sprains, and minor wounds. Apply the fresh leaf directly. The cooling sensation alone tells you something is happening. Grow it once and it comes back forever. Deep-rooted, drought-tolerant, virtually indestructible. Plant 2. Plantain. Not the banana, the backyard weed. This grows in almost every lawn in the world, and almost everyone mows right over it. Plantain, Plantago major, is one of the most effective natural drawing agents known to herbalists. Insect stings, splinters, infected skin. Crush a leaf, press it to the skin, and watch it work within minutes. It pulls toxins out, reduces swelling, and speeds healing. Indigenous healers across North America called it white man's footprint because it followed European settlers everywhere they went. They recognized its power immediately. Plant 3. Lemon balm. You've probably walked past lemon balm at a nursery without stopping. That's the oversight. It's in the mint family, easy to grow, spreads happily in partial shade. But what most people don't know is that lemon balm has potent antiviral properties, specifically against the herpes simplex virus. Studies out of Germany found topical lemon balm cream reduced healing time of cold sores significantly. As a tea, it calms anxiety, improves sleep quality, and eases digestive tension. One plant, multiple systems. Plant 4. Calendula. Here's one gardeners grow for beauty while missing the medicine entirely. Calendula flowers are packed with flavonoids and triterpenoids, compounds with documented anti-inflammatory and antifungal activity. Infused in oil, they become one of the most effective natural treatments for eczema, dry skin, and minor burns. Midwives have used calendula oil for diaper rash for centuries. It is gentle enough for newborns and powerful enough to heal cracked skin that nothing else touches. Grow it in full sun, deadhead regularly, and it will flower all season long. Plant 5. Elderberry. Elderberry went viral a few years ago, and people still underestimate it. Sambucus nigra, the black elder, has been used in European folk medicine for over 2,000 years. Modern research has caught up. Multiple clinical trials now confirm elderberry extract significantly reduces the duration and severity of influenza. The mechanism? Compounds called anthocyanins that inhibit viral replication and stimulate immune cytokine production. This isn't folklore anymore. This is peer-reviewed science. Plant one elder shrub, and within 3 years, you have enough berries to make syrup, tincture, and tea for your entire family through winter.
Plant 6. Echinacea. Everybody's seeing echinacea. Almost nobody grows it strategically. This native prairie plant was the most used medicinal herb among plains indigenous peoples for wound care, infection, snake bites, and respiratory illness. The root contains echinacericides and alkylamides that activate macrophages, the immune cells that hunt and destroy pathogens. Research supports its use at the onset of colds, not as a cure, but as an immune primer. Grow the perennial species. It comes back every year and gets stronger. The roots are most potent after the 3rd growing season. Plant 7. Yarrow. Soldiers carried yarrow into battle for a reason. Achillea millefolium. The genus name comes from Achilles himself, who, according to myth, used it to stop his soldiers bleeding. The active compound, achilleic acid, really does have hemostatic properties. Press a yarrow leaf to a fresh cut and bleeding slows. As a tea, yarrow breaks fevers by promoting sweating, reduces heavy menstrual bleeding, and eases urinary tract discomfort. It grows wild in almost every climate zone. It might already be growing in your yard right now. Plant 8. Ashwagandha. This one takes patience to grow. It is completely worth it. Ashwagandha root is an adaptogen, a class of plant compounds that help the body regulate its stress response. Human trials show it measurably reduces cortisol, improves thyroid function, and enhances sleep quality in chronically stressed adults. It's been the cornerstone of Ayurvedic medicine for over 3,000 years. In the West, we're paying $40 a bottle for extract capsules. You can grow the whole plant from seed in a warm, dry garden bed. Harvest the root in fall of year 2. Dry it, powder it. The medicine is yours for free. Plant 9. Holy basil, or tulsi. Not your pasta basil, something older and more powerful. Tulsi, Ocimum tenuiflorum, is sacred in Hindu tradition and central to Ayurvedic healing for a reason. It contains eugenol, rosmarinic acid, and ursolic acid, compounds with documented anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and aptogenic effects. It regulates blood sugar. It modulates the stress response. As a daily tea, it has a warm, clove-like flavor and a calming effect you feel within the first cup. Grow it like regular basil, full sun, warm weather, regular harvesting to promote bushiness. Plant 10. St. John's wort. Most people know this one by name and understand almost nothing about it. Hypericum perforatum, the tiny black dots on the leaves, are oil glands, and when you crush a flower bud, it stains your fingers deep red. That red compound, hypericin, is the key. Research consistently supports St. John's wort extract as comparable to low-dose antidepressants for mild to moderate depression, with fewer side effects. As an infused oil, it's extraordinary for nerve pain. Rub it into areas affected by sciatica, shingles, or bruised nerves, and the effect is tangible. Grows in disturbed soil, roadsides, and meadows, extremely easy to cultivate. Plant 11. Turmeric. People put this in smoothies without understanding what they're actually holding. Curcumin, turmeric's active compound, is one of the most studied natural anti-inflammatories in the scientific literature. Thousands of studies. It inhibits the same inflammatory pathways as ibuprofen without the gastric side effects at therapeutic doses. Combined with black pepper, bioavailability increases 2,000%. Grow it in a pot or raised bed in zones 8 and above. In cooler climates, start it indoors and bring it in before frost. The fresh rhizomes are more potent than anything in a capsule. Slice them thin and steep in warm water with black pepper and honey.
Plant 12. Feverfew. There is one specific group of people who need to know this plant immediately. Migraine sufferers. Feverfew, Tennessee parthenium, has been used to prevent migraines since at least the 17th century. Modern research supports it. The compound parthenolide inhibits serotonin release from platelets and blocks prostaglandin synthesis, both mechanisms directly involved in migraine onset. Daily consumption of 2 to 3 fresh leaves has been shown in clinical trials to reduce migraine frequency. Grow it in any well-drained garden. It self-seeds freely. Plant it once, and it plants itself every year after. Plant 13. Marshmallow root. The marshmallow candy was named after this plant. The plant is nothing like the candy. Althea officinalis roots contain mucilage, a thick gel-forming substance that coats and soothes inflamed mucous membranes throughout the body. Sore throat, gastritis, leaky gut, urinary tract inflammation, anywhere you have irritated tissue, marshmallow root brings relief. It works by physical coating, not chemical reaction. That means no drug interactions and no side effects. A cold water extract preserves the mucilage best. Steep the dried root in cold water overnight, strain, and drink throughout the day. Plant 14. Valerian. This one grows like a weed and works like a sedative. Valerian root has been used as a sleep aid since ancient Greece. Roman physicians prescribed it. Medieval monks grew it in monastery gardens. The active compounds, valeric acid and isovaleric acid, interact with GABA receptors in the brain, promoting relaxation without dependency. Unlike pharmaceutical sleep aids, valerian does not suppress REM sleep cycles. Studies show it reduces sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep, without morning grogginess. Grow it in moist, rich soil. Harvest roots in fall of year 2. Dry, tincture, or capsule, the medicine is the same. Androgophis. And here it is, the one most people have never heard of. Androgophis paniculata is called the king of bitters in Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine. And this is where Western herbalism still has a massive blind spot. In India and Southeast Asia, Androgophis is the first thing people reach for at the onset of respiratory infection, fever, and viral illness. Clinical trials have shown it significantly reduces the severity and duration of upper respiratory infections, in some studies outperforming standard care for uncomplicated cases. The compound androgelidol has demonstrated antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and immunomodulatory effects in laboratory settings. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Thailand deployed it as part of their early treatment protocol. This plant is almost completely unknown in Western gardens. It grows as an annual in most climates, starts from seed indoors, transplants easily. The leaves are intensely bitter. That bitterness itself is a marker of medicinal potency. Dry the aerial parts and use as tea, tincture, or powder at the first sign of illness. Every one of these plants has been used by real people in real communities across real centuries, not as magic, not as replacement for emergency medicine, but as something we gave away too quickly, the ability to grow healing in our own soil. If you're building a medicinal garden this season, start with 3 from this list. Comfrey, calendula, and elderberry will serve you in more ways than almost anything else you could plant. Drop a comment below. Which one are you growing first? I read every one. If this opened your eyes to what's possible in a healing garden, hit subscribe. This channel is for people who want to grow more than food. We cover practical, life-changing plant knowledge every week. And save this video. Share it with someone who still thinks plants are just decoration.